flipping Nora that has won me over. There's two things in here that I don't really like. Gin and Prosecco. But boy, both of those ingredients absolutely make that cocktail. Rum cocktails, you need to know part 48. And I love saying this. This is the Hinky Dinks Fizzy. Another one of Smugglers Cove. Martin Kate does say this is should be flash blended on a spindle blender. So we've got crushed ice. I've got a couple of agitated cubes, but I am going to shake. First ingredient, lightly aged rum. I always go Plantaray 3 stars here. So 30 ml, 1 ounce of that. Now, the next ingredient, this calls for gin. And I've never really discussed what sort of gin you should use. You have to remember, when a tiki recipe does call for gin, it is purely there for seasoning. It should be really juniper heavy. And I love using Citadel for this. It's a 44%. It is slightly bumped in ABV, but you do get those big notes of juniper that come through, which you need in this cocktail. So 30 ml, 1 ounce. Back to our apricot liqueur. Remember to let me know if you've tried Luxardo's apricot liqueur that we can't get here in the UK. I desperately want to try that, but 15 ml of your favourite. Now, next ingredient is passion fruit puree, and let's touch on this very quickly. All the tiki recipes are essentially blending funkin' passion fruit puree with sugar in equal amounts. As you've probably heard me say recently, this is 90% passion fruit, 10% sugar, and that up until now has been the pinnacle that we can get here in the UK. However, Boiron Ambient is now on the scene and they have upped the ante even more. This is now 100% passion fruit with no sugar or anything added at all. And it tastes absolutely incredible compared to the Funkin'. We used to love this, but this is now even better. However, the issue for a lot of you, and it's the same with Funkin', once opened, you should be using within 10 days. If you can't get through it in 5 or 6 days, it's the wrong product for you. But it is probably the best tasting product for you. And that's where products like this come in, the Real Passion Fruit. Now, this is 39.5% passion fruit, so the rest of it is sugar, but that 39.5% is all passion fruit. It's not a juice or it's not a concentrate, it's actual passion fruit. This is long life and shelf stable once opened, and is virtually a direct replacement for those recipes you see in all the tiki cocktail books. So I'm going to use a squeeze, about 15 ml, then 15 ml, half an ounce of lime juice, and then pineapple juice. As I always say, at least try and do 100% pressed pineapple juice. We want 45 ml, 1.5 ounces, and then there's one more ingredient coming after the shake, and it's not what you think it is. My brandy snifter is back out to play again, so it's an open gated pour, topped with more crushed ice. Then the final ingredient is actually 60 ml of Prosecco. And then garnish, obviously we're going to do a sprig of mint. And look, I've got a dried passion fruit from Frona as well. Right, I've got high hopes for this. I'm not necessarily a Prosecco drinker, but let's dive in.